called like a body bag when you literally like hit somebody.
Okay.
Some people do it intentionally. Some people just do it.
Mohaned Alhouni interview, sponsored by Dakota Roasters. Go to their website, use promo code tennis. We're for the people. We create discounts out of thin air for the people. Tennis, just boom. Tennis is so broad. Who has that broad of a discount code? Consistent, never will go away. So yeah, take advantage. But anyways, Mohaned Alhouni, who's a former Division III national champion for Gustavus. This is actually, you could say, interview 2 with Mohaned. We interviewed him 3 years back, and he's a legend. We'll see what has changed in his life. And yeah, he's been busy. He's a professional pickleball player right now, is an entrepreneur, has Havana Juices. It's like a smoothie company that he sells smoothies. And yeah, super interesting guy. Has grown his social media in the last 3 years. Crazy amount. So I want to get into that with him as well. But we will resume when Mohaned comes in.
I thought I did not have the right like updated Google Chrome because I saw your like list of what we need to have.
Yeah.
But I figured out like I was able to get to go. I just had to update my Mac. So.
Okay. But yeah, that list is just like their like preloaded message. So I just like send that out. It just
I thought that's something you like. I thought that's like what you. That's funny.
No, I gotta clarify that because I mean this is good for me to know because I mean I do multiple of these.
Yeah, no,
everyone's probably thinking the exact same thing. They're like, "What is this message?"
Right. I'm like, okay, so I have to have a microphone. I have to have a MacBook. I have to have this.
Yeah. No.
I mean, it makes sense to have the best quality, but.
And honestly, what I've kind of figured out over the 30 plus interviews that we've done, I guess, over the last few years is iPhones work really good. If someone has like a setup where they do podcast, not many people do podcasting or like do some sort of an interview thing, but if they're using Zoom consistently, they have it figured out. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense. I've used Teams before. I don't know if you've used that.
Yeah.
But
Teams
Teams is also solid. But this looks good too. I mean, it's called StreamYard.
Yeah. So yeah, use StreamYard. I don't know how I got hooked on it. I think I was just when I first started looking at what to use, I don't even know. Maybe they just had good ads or something like that.
I'm assuming when you search, like the top ones come out.
Yeah.
But how are things going with that? Have you figured kind of for the most part, kind of a nice way to get your name out there, your voice out there? I know how much you love tennis, so I hope it's been fun for you to kind of keep up with everything going on tennis-wise.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, that's obviously why I like to do the interviews is talking with interesting people who do interesting things. Obviously like yourself, when we get into it. But yeah, I would say if I was micro picking StreamYard a little bit, it would be the ability to export in short form interviews.
Oh yeah.
Obviously time is limited, that, like super busy. An easy way just like cut it up in short form is something that I'm looking for.
Yeah.
So if they did a bit better job of that, or if I had a solution for that somehow, I just haven't developed one yet. That would be big because like people don't always like click and watch the full interview. You know what I mean? They might.
Oh, they only watch the snips, right?
Right.
Well, that's what I've seen you post on Instagram, right? Like the kind of the snips of people's interview, and then the goal is to have them go watch the full one. I'm assuming, right?
Right. Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's just a showcase. Obviously, if we're gonna ask you to come on, we want people to watch it. We want people to market that as good as possible, and having short form is super important.
It's good, yeah.
Yeah. So it's like for me right now, it's like a little bit of like a lack of like we gotta get on this somehow, but I gotta figure out like a sustainable way to because if you have to be able to continue to do it, it can't just be like, oh, you're working like a dog day in day out, and it's not sustainable.
No, that makes sense. No, I think you'll figure it out if it's something that you kind of been liking to do. So
Yeah. I
sooner
mean,
or later.
yeah, let's just get right into it. I mean, talking about social media. So
Right.
I
Right.
I just watched our last interview back, and I had a little screen grab um of your Instagram account. It had like 558 followers. Now
Right.
you're at like 10 or 11K, which is absolutely massive.
Right.
What have you done over the last 3 years to get that growth?
Honestly, man, it's been just showing, like you're saying, I wanted to showcase something I love to do and enjoy doing, which is coaching the sport that we grew up playing. That's kind of how it first started, especially when we were connected and we did that interview. It was mainly just me, you know, capturing educational content with my kids that I coached, and it was truly for me to use at first. But then I'm like, okay, like it seemed that the kids really like you can see that progression, that transformation. And I knew others who maybe play tennis or are in the tennis world wanted to know more about kind of what I do. And so then I'm like, okay, every video content I post, I'm gonna edit it, post it there, delete it from my phone because I did not like the videos kind of adding up on my photos, you know? So I'm like, okay, that was also another way to just kind of get rid of the content that I've had on my phone and not save it. So basically it's been fun kind of posting on Instagram, looking back on some too, from back in like maybe a year and a half, 2 years to now.
Mhm.
Just looking back on that progression that some of my kids used, some of my kids have been doing. So it's also been fun. But mainly just like an account presence to really continue to grow the sport that we've loved and continue to make it grow more. You know, I know we're like I'm a small fish in a big pond, like they say, but because everybody nowadays feels like they have content, what in sports, whether it's tennis or pickleball, basketball, whatever it is, like you're doing podcasts and a way for you to show the sport, right? So we all are doing our own thing, but for me, it's been paying off doing coaching and educational videos. So
Yeah, and obviously you're striking the nail on the head. I mean, growing that much over, a 3-year span. What specifically do you think you did to like is it just consistency? Is it the value of your content? What do you think has really helped, a lot of people gravitate towards what you're doing?
yeah, I think the quality of it. At first, I tried to be consistent, Isaac, where we tried to post, every day or every other day or every week. But with at least the lifestyle I've had, I couldn't do that. But I've been like, okay, if I'm already waited a couple weeks to post one, let me really think about what would it be my next video that I think that people would like watching. And then I've started gravitating into towards like, okay, like 30-second, here's how to fix your forehand in 30 seconds or 60 minutes or a progression of how the backhand used to be. And but in the video, here's what it looks. So I felt that people like those kind of content. So I would say the quality for sure is a good thing that helped serve me well. That way, and the consistency in terms of also what videos I've posted has also been helping. So I kind of stuck with specific content that I thought it would work well. But it does get to a point where you're like, okay, what next? What should be my next video?
Mhm.
So now I'm kind of brainstorming of just kind of do I do a series? Do I do just kind of keep continuing what I'm doing just to continue to grow? Because at the end of the day, where we see social media is going, I could easily see the account I have, the Tennis with Mo, could be a fun like kind of a retirement page where I kind of look back at and use it from other areas versus only just now. So yeah, I think part of it is that it's been helping and yeah, so
It's almost like a little bit of like a timestamp of that current moment where you can, go back and watch it and be like, "Oh,
right.
wow, like that's what I was doing at that time." And
And
especially
actually, I use it too. Like sometimes, like I've had some kids who I've been with for maybe now 6, 7 years, and ones when like you said, when I've had like maybe a little under 500 followers, where I start posting, and a couple of my loyal clients who I've been with, like I had one kid who's 5 and now he's 12, right? And then when I'm in a lesson with him now, I kind of like would pull out my phone sometimes and go scroll all the way back because I remember posting a video of him when he had like a weaker backhand technique, let's say, and we're working on his backhand now. I would pull that back as a reference sometimes, and I'm like, hey, look, this is what your backhand used to be 3 years ago or 2 years ago, and look at the progression we've been doing. Or hey, this is what you've been doing then, and look, it's still a little bit the same. Let's try to continue to work on it. So it's been helping even as a reference to look back from the area you're talking about, but from also just referencing to, oh, my players, here's what it used to be and here's what it
Mhm.
is now. So
Yeah, in visual learning, just watching yourself back
that's
is,
huge.
I would say, more important than probably even a coach.
Yeah.
Being able to talk, like self teaching yourself, is almost more important. And then the coach is there to refine, I think. Um,
Especially
but
with kids that are 12 and under, 14 and under, you notice just because they're still kids, they're still young, they really absorb everything. I would say particularly 12 and under, I've noticed visual learning really is important.
mhm. And I referenced it before, but 10K followers on Instagram. In I'm curious on what kind of like a community that is. Do you have a lot of people like messaging you daily where you have to keep up with? Oh wow, this is quite a
Yeah.
bit of stuff. Like, how is your interaction with your community?
Yeah, I think it's been a lot of parents, I would say, and some coaches too, that maybe would say, "Hey, like, good video. What do you think about this?" Or, "I've been coaching this kid. What should be the next progression?" But I would say probably like 80% though, it would be parents that would either just ask, "Hey, where are you from? Are you from this city? How can we get hooked up with you? What's and then I kind of just reach back. Some of them I'll just say if they're too far, I'm like, hey, send me a video of your kid, even if it's just a 1 minute video. I can give you a pointer or two of what I see and what you can look to work on. But I have a feeling because most of the players I kind of post are graduated are towards the younger crowd. I think parents kind of are mainly the followers of that, at least from so far from what I've the responses I've been getting,
Mhm.
and then if I post stories, whether it's with polls or just kind of asking for suggestions, that can gravitate towards like a balance. I think you get everybody, a little bit older demographic, the younger demographics. But it started with a lot of parents, and now I feel like the majority of the followers are also younger kids, younger athletes, whether it's tennis players or not. So
Mhm. And you referenced, the value add that, the kid would get by just watching
yeah,
their play. But obviously, when you grow an audience to a big level, it means that people, are wanting to see what you're putting out there.
mhm,
Um, is there a way for you to, and maybe this isn't necessarily the angle, but maybe in the future, like a way for you to monetize the audience, or a way to like, I know like Bruce Gullickson,
right,
who's a legend, he's
right,
done DVDs, or like a book, you know what I mean? Like, now that you have this, this base of parents and stuff, doing
yeah.
some sort of a thing that they are like, yeah, like I want to buy this, or support you somehow. Have you
That's
thought about
funny
that?
that's funny, Isaac, that you say that. I literally, like, not even a couple days ago, I was talking with one of my brothers, and I was thinking of kind of doing some sort of, like, especially with people that ask me, hey, how can we get help? But I'm not in their, it's hard to get like one on one with them, and I'm not in their state, for example. I do want to start offering, whether it's a 15-minute session or a 30-minute session, like you and I right now, just having a conversation,
Mhm.
whether it's with a parent, a player, a coach, and I just tell them, hey, 15 minutes of our time, my time is right here. It's easier. I think it can still be a one-on-one. It should feel a bit more intimate, and it should feel more like, hey, like, let's, what is it? Like, I feel like even you and I are talking right
Mhm.
now. It's something that, we're right here, right? So
Right.
hopefully it's better than nothing. So I am thinking towards offering those 15, 30 minute, sessions with me that you can book online, and kind of as a way to monetize it, but also a way to give back even more to people who are curious how to get their game the next level, or parents who are curious how to coach their kids. It's another thing I've been getting asked a lot lately, especially with parent involvement, is a lot of parents, when they go and travel with their kids to tournaments, that are wondering, Mo, like, what is the right question to ask at this specific time? How do I talk with my, you know what I mean? So like that's one area that I don't think it's been covered a lot, is how to really coach parents to be able to coach their kids or give their kids the right tip during tournaments. Because
Mhm.
nowadays everybody's been playing tournaments. And then the
Mhm.
other thing too, speaking of parents, is would love to do something where I know you're doing a podcast, but doing something where to sit down with a parent and just straight up just have a conversation and let them kind of talk it out. And I guarantee you, a lot of the things they say or they listen to are other parents around the world have done that, especially in a sport like tennis. So
Mhm.
those couple of things I would say in the future are ways that if I have time and when I have time more for that, I would definitely like to dabble more into that area for sure. So
And you mentioned the time piece of it, and you're super busy. I mean,
yeah.
one of those things that occupies a lot of your time is being a professional pickleball player.
Right,
So
dude. Isn't that time change like crazy? I mean, you and I have known each other from college tennis, obviously. And as you see now, like pickleball in the last 2, 3 years have been growing. Okay, are you with me at all? Can you hear me?
yeah, yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Okay. Yeah, I can. For some reason, your screen, I don't know what happened. It kind of went. There you go. I see you. Um, so as yeah, for the last, especially a little bit after, maybe in 20, maybe yeah, I would say a bit under 2 years now. I've been kind of playing the sport of pickleball. Like a lot of maybe tennis players who've been dabbling with both. I would say I'm one of the few on the tour who still dabbles with both. Even though it's hard to see that integration between both as a player if you're doing both back to back. But there is a way I think to tie in the sports together. Obviously, I've been mainly with tennis, but working at a place like Lifetime, for example, who as a business has to operate with both in terms of everything. So I had to kind of dabble in that space, whether it's for work, but then eventually, especially me being a competitive person in nature, wanted to kind of just continue that competitive mindset and see how that plays. So for the last couple of years, I've been just traveling the PPA tournaments, just competing, playing, whether it's singles, doubles, or mixed doubles. I play doubles with Moda for the most part, my older brother, and then try to play all divisions there. It does give me a sense of sense of competing more. And then also I'm someone who doesn't take a lot of vacations for me because it's the time. So I found even traveling and playing these PPA tournaments, it's just competitive mindset, but it's also a way for me to get out of the work lifestyle that I have here in Minnesota to just take a few days, unwind,
Mhm.
play and learn a lot, and then come back and go back to the lifestyle I know, and which is work here, right? So
Yeah.
so I've been able to use that as kind of a two-out way. So
And you're a top 30 player in the rankings right now in singles. What what does it take to get to that level for ranking? And then also that's of course based off of points. So how much
yeah.
do you have to play in a year to really be a professional like
Yeah,
yourself?
so the last year there was more tournaments. This year there's like about 22 to 25 tournaments,
So you're
and
playing every one of them?
so yeah, try to play majority of them. You don't have to play every single one. Depends on your contract that you've signed. Some make you play every one. I try to play if I'm there and the weekend works, especially the ones on the weekend. I try to go play those because it's easier. You're not taking away time from work or everything. So it takes a lot, man. At first, honestly, it felt like I was just kind of there and playing, and you obviously get some good wins, and you feel like you're right there. But eventually, if you really want to go, it's like tennis. If you really want to go to the top 15, top 10, whatever, you have to put in work. You have to start going to the gym. You have to eat good, like similar to what we were doing with the college grind of tennis, right? Like you have to really be disciplined, train, act as a professional, and hold yourself to higher standards. So that all I feel like kind of I had to get remember that and give back at first. My first few tournaments, I was just there, played a lot of qualies. You obviously have to go from qualies to the main draw, make a couple of good runs, put your name out there, and then it all kind of builds itself versus just like coming in and doing it or the other way. I have noticed a lot of people right now who saw a glimpse of where pickleball could take them, and maybe they've came with already a full-time job. I've seen some people have kind of maybe like stopped working their full-time job and given pickleball a push. You see that. You see people that have been with pickleball and all they do is just commit 100% to pickleball, play every single tournament. They're really dialed in there. That's one reason they do it, right? They want to give it a shot for the next few years, see where it takes them, especially now with sponsorship deals, tournaments becoming. There's more tournaments now, so you can make a run, get money, whether it's the prize money or not. And then there's people who do it like myself, who like that balance, right, of still giving it a shot. I'm lucky though, considering where I'm working right now at Lifetime, where I have pickleball courts, a gym, everything right in my backyard. So
Right.
so as I balance work and get things done, still being able to take time off and in the day and just go right away, do a workout or drill or play. So I still hold myself accountable to that. I also have an academy, a tennis academy that I coach at my club. So also balancing that out is it was important to me for sure. Just getting the right coaches who I know if I travel to a tournament and they are there running the show. I feel like was a tough battle at first, maybe for my first year doing it. But now I would say having the right staff, right group, right players too, players who are there just eager to learn, get better. It makes it so much easier to travel and play without thinking about what is going on there. Are they, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
so yeah, there's a little bit of different reasons why people play, but to answer your earlier question, it is harder than you think to be able to
Mhm.
make it a little further in PPAs. So
Where are the tournaments at? Are they mostly in like
so
Florida?
it's kind of all over, man. The first quarter we've had tournaments in Texas, California, Florida, Utah. There was a couple in Utah. So those four earlier were the main stage where we'd had tournament, but it can vary. There's one in Kansas City. There was one here in Lifetime, Minnesota, but we didn't have. So like you'd be surprised every couple weeks or every 2-3 weeks. There's one in could be in a different state.
Mhm.
Or some could be back to back in the same states. For example, Utah had one in Salt Lake City and in St. George back to back like a couple months ago. So players can just go from one side to the other side. So uh,
And I'm sure with playing, 20 plus tournaments potentially in a year, you're running into a lot of the top players or similar players at the tournaments. Have you developed any rivalries with any opponents or anything like that?
yeah, no, you for sure have. It's part of the journey. Whether it's good rivalries or not good rivalries, it is what it is.
Yeah.
But you've developed. I've played some good competition, including like players you've heard. I mean, I played Ben Johns, who's arguably one of the best players in the world, if not the best. Done a lot for the sport. Played and talking, yeah. So played Federico here in singles, who's one in the world. Played other good names. I can't really remember at the top of my head, but especially in singles, which I think I've been liking doubles more lately. It's just a different strategy, but I know I'm better at singles just because of the experience in tennis. So that's just it comes in handy. So I would say that's what I've tried seeing my strength earlier this year. Like I made it the semifinals of one of the PPAs in Daytona Beach. That was kind of my
Mhm.
best run in singles. Played a couple of local guys here, which is always hard to play but yeah, so you develop some good rivalries. It's part of it, and that's kind of where we had too, right, in college tennis, where you develop some with a couple of players, and they're there. So
Mhm.
um,
And is there like some sort of element of like teams and stuff for
yes,
professional?
yeah,
What how
yeah,
can you explain that?
yeah. So it's called Major League Pickleball. I was in one of the teams last year, Las Vegas Night Owls, and this year they're kind of like it seems that they're having a little different of formatting rules. If you get a chance, take a look at them online. I think they've posted them. It's just MLP, Major League Pickleball, and the idea is they do want to bring the team aspects of sports to pickleball, and I thought it was really fun, engaging. It engages the crowd too in a different way than maybe the PPA would, because the PPA it feels like you're kind of traveling. Think like let's say you're traveling for just a regular USTA tournament, you're just by yourself. You go in, you get your draw, you get your matches, you go play it, you come back, you report the score or however it is, and you're kind of more solo. You're there with yourself and kind of by yourself, holding your ground.
Mhm.
Um, but the MLP, you got a team of of like six other players. At least when I was playing, it was only four of us. Now they added two more, so every team has six. Where you have your four main players, and you have two on the roster as like bench players or players who are just being ready in case anybody gets sick or can't make it. Um, And like I said, the scoring is now it's actually back to traditional scoring. It used to be a scoring called rally scoring, where you every point counts, whether you serve or return. But now they did it towards similar to the traditional format where all the spectators understand that scoring system more. So they felt that they can do that for this team event. So it kind of makes everything the same, consistent. And but I think the MLP has been really it's been kind of more of the team aspect and engaging the crowd, and even the crowd are actually more engaged in MLP. It seems like the team style than the individual styles from the start, at least, so honestly,
And
go ahead.
there's always or I don't really, I would say, stay in touch with the pickleball world too much, but
Mhm.
the pickleball algorithm is definitely going like it's on my algorithm.
Yeah,
I
I'm
watch.
sure. Yeah.
So like, you hear of the top players like you said, Ben Johns or Anna Lee Waters on the female
Mhm.
side, or Jack Sock, Jeannie
Oh yeah,
Bouchard.
Zach, that's
They're
right. Yeah.
um um and other things that kind of pop up are kind of the beef incidents where, like, in pickleball is a wiffle ball, so people are probably getting upset over nothing but like them trying to hit it at a body shot, or
Yeah.
also in pickleball you call your own lines. Like tennis, there's not like a professional line calling system, so there's a little bit of beef that way. Have you had any experience or any like big, like, boiling moments in professional pickleball?
Absolutely. I've had him. I've seen him. To go back to the first one, they call it like a body bag. When you literally like hit somebody. Some people do it intentionally. Some people just do it. But funny that you say that. About a couple tournaments ago, the the governing body who comes up with the rules and regulations, I think they tried just making a rule around that. Right. So we played a tournament where they said if you hit it and it looks intentional, you're gonna get a fine. But there's a gray area there. It's like, what if I'm doing it and then it's like you think I'm intentional, but I didn't actually try it. So that was kind of a tough situation. But they are keeping an eye closer, and I think honestly, like if rules like this, I think that if they are implemented the right way, could help pickleball become more even of a professional sport. But right now, yeah, I think if you have that, if you get a ball that bounces a little higher, and maybe if you're down big, like why not just take a cut? And worst case, I lose another point versus best case, I can hit him or hit her, and I can be like, oh, okay, like that worked. So that for sure, I've seen it cause a lot of kind of tension. Usually, when that happens, if you have a ref in the court, right away you look at him. Oh, did you see that? Did you see that? Let's try to kind of start something. And pickleball, to me personally, man, I feel like it. Like in tennis, we've played each other. You've known who I am in terms of just how I carry myself on the court, right? Like it's more of a calmer demeanor. I try to play with my mental side. The space is bigger on the tennis court, so you and I aren't really face to face as much. But with pickleball, man, it's so close, right? So it kind of brought out of me more of that aggression more than I thought pickleball did, whether it's
Mhm.
cheering or whether it's saying come on or see or whatever. It feels like you're right there and you want to say something, you want to do something. So
Mhm.
that adrenaline, it just is much more somehow, maybe with the smaller space, you just always feel like you're triggered to do something or say something.
Mhm.
Not always in a bad way, just kind of it is what it is. And then the line calls is the same thing. You see a lot of, including myself, that have been in the good and the bad sides of calling tight calls. But sometimes on pickleball, you're always on top of the ball, so you really can't see it. You just call out if your brain just told you to call out, and then you look at the ref. They can either overrule you or they can say, "Oh yeah, it was out or in." The tricky part is the refs don't really watch the lines; they watch the ball, and sometimes when you're at the net, they watch your feet at the kitchen line. So I get it; they don't really have the time or the capacity to turn their head and really follow the ball and watch the line and say it's out or in. But
Mhm.
eventually, even if they're not seeing it you default to them and they're like, okay, in or out, right?
Yeah.
That caused a little bit of attention at the beginning, kind of just confusion on the line call. That was a bigger thing. I think now they have the IHOC, which is obviously similar to tennis. You can challenge your calls. Some courts do it, especially and only a couple of courts usually as you continue to advance. You have that, whether it's center court or the court called grandstand court, and not sure if there's one more or not. But with this new challenge, it is making things a bit more realistic. this weekend they had a major league MLP group team tournament at Orlando, Florida. I believe it was in Pickleball TV, which was bought by Tennis Channel. So you may see some of the replay highlight if you watch Tennis Channel come up there, and you will see like throughout the matches, people will call challenges, will stop it. Some challenges you get, I think, I'm not sure about the MLP rule, but generally you get like 3 challenges. You get 1 timeout, where timeout basically mid game, game to 11, you can call it whenever you want. You go, you call your timeout, you sit, you get a minute, I think, and or 45 seconds, and then you get 3 other like kind of challenges, and that could count as your timeout. And if you challenge a call and let's say you lose a timeout too. So they're making it where you have a little bit of a boundaries of what you can do and can't do, instead of just feeling like you can do whatever. But you like the call lying and the whole body bag thing are 2 hot topics. I think will continue to be hot topics in pickleball for a while, So
And the body bag thing, I'm all for that. I want
yeah,
like if someone hits a sitter and you
yeah.
can just absolutely just annihilate someone, 1, get out of the way. 2, you're getting hit by a wiffle ball. Like, if you need eye protection, if that's what you need, wear it, right?
That's what people I think gravitate towards. I think at least it was like majority of the injuries kind of been in the eye. And to your point, if somebody hits it to my shoulder and above my head and eye, I'm trying to duck, but sometimes it's hard because it is a wiffle ball, so like it travels kind of fast in the moment. Unless you got your eyes locked in on the ball, you got the right positioning, like right ready position, then you can counter pretty well. Otherwise, if you are like kind of following the ball too much or following what your opponent doing, and somebody just hits you an unexpected shot, it may happen once in a match, but if that happens, it can throw people off. But yeah, so you can wear whatever, and I think people gravitate towards it. Sometimes for me, I haven't done it intentionally as much. One, because I think I'm just tall. So like in order for you to do that, you have to really get down on your legs, right? Or like stay low and just speed up a ball. So I think the body bags, if a ball hits higher, like I just, I think it kind of gravitates toward people that are a little short because they can see it more, and you don't have to bend as much, you don't have to get your paddle low as much, and you can just let it bounce and boom, you can hide it more, right? So there's that too, but yeah, it's kind of like if you do it, be ready for it too, to your point. So.
Yeah, there's nothing more than me, or liking when I'm going on the pickleball court, because I only play like recreational.
Yeah.
Recreational.
It's just social. It's fun. That's how the sport started, right? It's just mainly social and recreational and getting everybody to play together.
Yeah. Getting everyone to play, social, everyone's having fun, and then I come out on the court, and when I get a sitter, I'm taking.
You're just ripping it.
I'm taking families. I'm making the rest of the day go.
That's
very
funny.
bad for the family get together.
I could see you, Isaac, doing that. I could see you just being large and just taking over. That's funny.
Yeah.
Okay. Any of your brothers play? Does your brother play it?
Travis is pretty good.
I bet, yeah.
He's got the tennis background, so he's super solid. And then his wife Allie, Ocho Terena, or I guess Toivonen now, but she is a former D1 tennis player. So it's good.
When good. And you have another brother who played basketball, right?
Yeah, he played high school basketball.
Basketball.
He's a stud. And then
the same brother or
different? Yep, I just have one younger brother.
One.
Yep.
I didn't know he played tennis. Okay.
Yeah,
so pickleball comes easy too.
And yeah, so the family rivalries are pretty big. And your brother plays professional pickleball as well. So do you guys
I have both. I have Moda who plays as well with me, kind of similar boat, similar style. He's trying to make it, and really, I think pickleball kind of brought more, just more of like a discipline type of thing for him too, and he's been working out and has been trying to also give it a shot and just play it for competitive, but also for fun and just enjoy the journey. And then my younger brother is also trying to also give it a shot too and play. He's younger than us, so he's trying to, play as much as he can. He just finished his grad school, and kind of tries to go to as many tournaments as he can. He doesn't play a lot of them like we do, like me and Moda do, but he goes to whenever one that sounds convenient and it's easy to get to. He just comes along with us and tries to play him. So,
and kind of transitioning into a different piece that I find super interesting about kind of your what you're doing right now is you're an entrepreneur. You got your own juice company, Havana
Yeah.
Juices. What is Havana Juices? Can you explain your company?
Absolutely, yeah. So it's a fun venture that me and my family have been, or me and my brothers particularly have been just taking on the last also couple of years. And basically, Havana Juices is just all natural, raw juice, fresh, no preservatives, no added sugar. And why it's called Havana Juice? In 2004, there were two brothers from Libya, where I'm originally from. They're two brothers, and they lived in Cuba and Havana for 10 years, and in 2004, they moved back to Libya, Tripoli, and they wanted to bring the Caribbean vibe, the tropical vibe back to Libya. And they opened like kind of a small brick and mortar shop. They started just kind of had line of juices. And I remember back then I had tennis, obviously, and they used to come to my tennis clubs and kind of set up like a pop up shop in a way where they give samples. You can buy some on the spot there. So I remember just for almost right at the beginning when they did it, I was always obsessed. Whenever I finished my practice or match, I would always run there and just try a sample or get a juice and just hang out in the area there. And then eventually, with their brick and mortar store, they opened a spot where just people can go hang out. Think of basically a Starbucks, but for the younger generation, kind of in a way, where just a lot of kids came, hung out, and drank juice, ate desserts, like just was together. So I did that too for a little bit, and then fast forward to 2 years ago. Obviously, I was here, and me and my older brother, he was craving like a juice, and then we went and tried, all the other juices out there, like naked juice and all that, and they tasted good. We liked them, but it just gave you that sugar rush, that adrenaline that you feel like you can't sleep, or you almost like ate a dessert or a candy versus a juice. But then we thought of those guys, since we have that mutual connection in the past, even though we didn't really truly know them well. They just knew me from tennis, and they knew the family, and we kind of had some mutual friends. So then my dad being back home, he was still there, and us here, we just called them up and said, "Hey, your concept is missing here. Could we maybe possibly bring it here and grow it?" And that's kind of was the start. And then from here, now we're taking on Havana Juice here in the States, and it's been a blessing just to try to get that fresh juice to more people. And it's been a good journey to learn too, doing something different than just sports. Like, I've always said I've always been involved in sports, which I love. But just doing something where I'm or we were running a business in our own, something unique, something we learn a lot about, is also refreshing. And good thing that I'm doing it with my brothers and my dad and family here, so it feels like it's a teamwork versus just solo.
Mhm.
Teamwork, it has its good side, its bad side, just because it's family, but we're working along with that, learning how to communicate, and yeah, hopefully it takes off. And one day I do want to get you. I'm not sure if you've tried them or not, but I would love to get you some to try. Maybe we can ship
All
you
right.
some. I think you'd like them. So.
Yeah, and I saw you got in there was a post from October of 2024. So curious if you're still in,
Mhm.
but there was a retail store that had your juice up there. It must have been like a local grocer of
Yeah,
some
so
sort.
we were tackling that actually. We were kind of trying to target anything local here, because I know just, and we are local, so we're like, let's just try to organically grow it. And that worked out well. Everybody that we were in like the grocery stable, Edge, the Wedge Co-op, East Side Co-op, great communities, all those guys. And then now we're obviously at Lifetime Fitness as well. It's been a blessing. We're working on closely with them too, to try to see if we can get our juices into their cafes. Their members love it, and yeah, so I think it'll be a journey to kind of see what's the right path. The only trick part with us is we're not pasteurized juice. So pasteurization meaning like milk, right? Milk, you pasteurize it, you cook it, you heat it, and then you can wholesale it for bigger. You can wholesale, but our juices, we cannot wholesale them.
Mm,
We can only retail them and direct to consumer. I'm learning actually all this like last week or two, so it's all new to us.
mhm,
So we're trying to right now work on all the everything that can kind of get us back on the shelf in the right way. And so we're learning what it takes to still produce our juices raw, unpasteurized, and still get it to our people. So as we speak, you and I here, I'm still going through that process, which has been a good learning process. And yeah, so that's kind of where it's at. So yeah, so we were there. Members love it. We still maybe would go do pop-ups, just get it into the people's hands, and everybody that's tried it have loved it. Our juices, we have why we also stand out, I think, is the texture. So we have 8 kinds right now. 4 of them are basically your common ones here, Isaac, that maybe you've heard of, such as like orange and carrots, or apple lemon ginger, or apple lemon celery cucumber, right? So like it's got a more of the healthy detox green juice, and or like lighter texture. Then we have 3 or 4 that are a bit creamier, a bit pulpier, like our pineapple mango raspberry or mango orange lemon. So those 2 are a bit different texture, and I think that's what our people, our customers like, that we offer 2 different kinds, of juices, and very kid friendly too. So we've had a lot. Majority of our demographics have been parents that buy juices for their kids. Just like especially with the vegetable ones, kids don't eat as much vegetables, so they find a good way to get vegetables to them by just drinking the juice, and it tastes good. So yeah, so I think to answer your question, we are trying to get into more retail the right way with the right license and all that soon. So
Yeah. How would you say business is going right now?
right now it's good for how long we've been, and it's just us growing it with not much support, with not honestly a lot of even money invested in marketing. A lot of it's been just organically us doing it, word of mouth, and just locally in Minnesota. I would say it's going well, really well. And we just ups and downs. You learn a lot. Like this situation I was telling you, where we didn't know we can't wholesale, but now I'm learning
Right.
that we can't. So just kind of revamps everything. It kind of almost pressures you for a sec. Like, okay, do I just pasteurize my juice then and become like everybody else, where then I'm good, and or do I just continue my raw untreated juice, but still find ways to make the brand stand for itself?
Mhm.
That's probably the toughest hurdle we're in right now, but I'd say it's a good hurdle because it kind of made us learn, and made us try to make things the right way, and just get back growing the right way.
Yeah.
So with Lifetime here, I'm hoping we get this potential partnership going. That way, we're into a place that encourages healthy way of living. I work at Lifetime too, so it kind of ties things together, and hopefully we can put something there. So
Yeah. And there's always going to be stuff that you're learning. You're never just going to have like a one-time product that is successful,
yeah,
unlimited, forever. There's
yeah,
always going to be, challenges to growth and having a successful company. And the good thing about your situation is you have, other things that you're doing as well. It's not, this isn't your main thing where it's
I
like, oh
know,
my gosh, they just pulled our stuff from the stores,
right? I know.
or whatever. But
It could be. It could have been, right? Like you said, with like like it's not. It was stressful at the beginning, where like we took a pause, but I'm like, maybe it's good to just pause, yes, and like learn about all this stuff that we need to, even though it's slowing us down, even though we were going through this hurdle. We haven't made juice for maybe a week now or 2, but it's fine. It's not the end of the world. We learn it, and then we were questioning at first, like, oh, why now? Why are we getting all this pushback now? But it's like because we were smaller. Now we're getting our name up there, so it's just part of what it is. And at first it took a second, and hopefully it can pay off too if we once we figure out stuff. So
mm,
and we also have I'm not sure if you've heard of the Oya paddles. That's one venture too I have with Jack and Jess Hansen and Ryan Medger from St. John's. Actually, I played tennis at St. John's. Maybe you've heard of them or known of them or played against them. I don't know. Do you have you?
who is that? Who is that?
Jack and Jess Hansen.
Oh yeah,
Jack
yeah, yeah, yeah. I
yeah,
know.
they played
Yeah.
at St. John's. Great guys, and they actually both of them are helping us, are working with us in the technology team too with Lifetime. And Ryan is also a great guy, and so that's another venture where we developed paddles for just kind of tennis inspired paddles in a way, or squash inspired in a way too, where we try to target athletes that are used to play a sport with a long gated handle,
Mhm.
whether it's racquetball, squash, or tennis, or badminton, even, right? Like just getting used to that longer handle. And that was a good venture, and it still is, where we're trying to kind of find a niche, find a way to still continue to do what we love. Because one of my, as growing up as a tennis player, one of my things that I've always wanted to do is develop a tennis racket that anybody can afford, high performance racket you can go play, pick up at Target anywhere. But obviously with the technology of rackets and where everything was going, it's just hard to do that. It's hard to keep up, right? But we figured since when was pickleball kind of just starting to grow, we were like, let's give it a shot and just see how it goes. And it's also been a fun venture to try to do and work with as well. So
Yeah, you're a man of many hats. It's cool
Yeah,
to
it
kind of
is.
hear.
But the one thing I would say though, Isaac, like, yeah, we just obviously we talked about tennis, pickleball, juices, paddles. Like, it is nice, but honestly, man, it does make you think. It makes you work a lot on your focus. I think kind of if I would give an advice to anybody that's have five, six, four things going on at once, and they feel like, oh yeah, I can dip my feet in a little bit of everything. Yes, it feels good, like as being productive, and you feel like you have a lot of stuff going on. But my best advice is just ask yourself, can you focus or can you not focus? Are you focused or not? Because that if you're
Right.
not focused, then you basically are spreading yourself too thin. I would say I've been there, done that, still going through it, still sometimes catching myself. I'm not focused on a specific task where I should be prioritizing that,
Mhm.
just because I want to dip my feet in everything, right? So yeah, it's good to have what you were saying, be man of many trades, but for those that maybe live a similar what lifestyle where they feel like everybody wants something from them, or you feel like you need to give everybody something or be involved in so many things, just gonna ask yourself, if are you focused about what you're doing in general, or you're not.
Mhm. Yeah, it's better to do a few things really well than a lot of
Right,
things just
right.
okay or
Yeah,
poor.
yeah.
But to kind of finish it off, I'm curious if you have any shout outs that you want to give or put out into the world.
Oh man, that's a loaded question. Shout out from what way though?
Yeah, any
Anything?
particular person that you want to shout out.
Oh
I don't
man,
know. It could be for any reason.
yeah. I would say honestly, I'm just gonna shout out, like, I know it's may feel like abroad, but since the day I moved here, I remember in 2011, I was like 15, 16. I think I just noticed just people in general, especially the people that I know, like genuinely wanted to interact with me, are the ones that I still, until this day, people that I know generally want to interact with me, and genuinely um, just try to help me, because I would say I didn't survive in the US without the people of that tried to be on my good side, and I'm me being on their good side in a way.
Mhm.
That's how I thought I blossomed. Whether it's my host family to start, who I lived with here for my entire life until I kind of grew and developed through college and now work. They opened up their doors for me with no questions. The Libovitz family, obviously my parents as well, just having me travel across the world, and just kind of making me figure it out. But they still were there, supportive. My brothers too, Moda and Mohaned, are there. And then obviously in the work life, you have people that help you. I'm grateful for a company like Lifetime, just to have my back, and always there. Also, in terms of pickleball, as I start this journey, Shane and Peak Pickleball Agency, who support and help out, give me opportunities to go compete and play, and just kind of put my name out there in the world. They've been really helpful. The PPA tour as well. They've been really, with Connor Pardo. They've been really good at just trying to grow the sport, give it a name, and also not just in Minnesota but internationally. And then lastly, but not least, is obviously the academy I run, elite tennis training of Lifetime Oakdale Village Tennis. I would say that's kind of been my baby. Me and some of the pros there. Shout out to Lori Fima, who helps out with the fitness. She's been with me since day one. She saw the vision, and just the kids kind of doing something that I truly loved, which is coaching the sport and giving back. Seeing those kids blossom now from 2 years ago to now, it is just so fun to see. And I know the kids are going to have a bright future with school and tennis. And we just started that first phase for them. So yeah, that's I feel like that's kind of a little bit of everything, but yeah, I would just say shout out to the good people of my life. So
Yeah, there we go. Those are some good shout outs. Our shout out is you for coming on. Thank you so much, Mo, for
thanks, Isaac.
spending
Yeah,
your time in doing this. Thank you.
thank you, buddy. I appreciate you, man.